My next door neighbor just came. She says the guy broke into the house. He has a gun. She's got blood on her face.
Okay, all right. Where's the other guy at right now? I tell you what, for your safety, just stay in the house and lock your door and keep her inside your house.
When a homicide investigation began, a loving wife led the charge, but behind her picture-perfect marriage were dark secrets. As detectives dug deeper, they uncovered a selfish desire that twisted into the ultimate betrayal.
Let's just go through your whole relationship until today.
We had physical therapy, obviously.
And why were you in physical therapy? You understand, like you sent us in the wrong direction on purpose.
With a population of fewer than 20,000, Elizabeth City, North Carolina is about as quiet as a town can be. But just before 2 a.m. on August 2nd, 2018, that peace was completely shattered. A homeowner was startled awake by the sound of a woman screaming outside. Rushing to his door, he met his next-door neighbor, 45-year-old Angel Sawyer. Her head was bleeding, and her hands were bound tightly with duct tape.
911, location emergency.
Yes, my name is Carl. My next door neighbor just came and knocked on my door. When I went to the door, she is crying and she says she thinks her husband is dead. It's right next door.
Okay. What makes you think that he is deceased?
She says she can't get him to wake up.
Another guy broke into the house?
She says the guy that broke into the house killed her husband.
I just woke up with this all over and I was picked up.
When officers arrived in the quiet neighborhood, things didn't add up. The front door was locked, but when they circled around to the back, it was wide open. Inside the house, clothes and drawers were scattered across the floor, as if someone had been searching for something or desperately fighting for their life. On the master bedroom floor lay Angel's husband, 55-year-old Milton Sawyer, hands tied behind his back and lifeless. Detectives sent Milton's body for autopsy and rushed to the hospital to speak with his wife, Angel.
Is there anything about this guy that seems familiar at all?
No. Then he said he wanted the shop key, so I told the policeman they should catch him over there, so I told them as soon as they got there.
Could you tell if he was white or black? Did you ever see his skin?
Couldn't see under his skin. It was dark.
How tall do you think he was? Was he taller than you?
Only 5'2". I was mostly on the ground and him pushing me on the ground and him hitting me.
According to Angel, the night had started like any other. The two of them were watching a movie alone in the house while their kids were off at sleepovers. She said everything changed when she walked into the kitchen for a snack and came face to face with a masked intruder holding a gun.
He smashed the phone when I went to grab the phone. That's when he hit me. And then he went back in there and I could hear them wrestling around. I couldn't get him to wake up. I couldn't roll him over because it was too big and heavy. And I couldn't get him to breathe and then I threw up.
Was that in the bathroom?
Well, I was trying to get my hands untied. Then I went across the street to the... They didn't answer. Then I finally got the neighbor next door to answer.
I know you've got a lot going through your mind.
I just want to know where he is.
He didn't make it right.
No.
I'm sorry.
Milton Sawyer was born and raised in Elizabeth City, Northern Carolina. He had worked in computer science for a time, but the office grind never suited his free-spirited nature. Milton believed he was meant for something more and followed his passion for collecting old treasures. That passion became his full-time career when he left his desk job and opened a favorite local shop called the Treasure Hunter. However, Milton's life hadn't always been easy. His first marriage had ended, and for a while he drifted, searching for something steady. Then in 2011, he met Angel Kessinger, a divorced mother of 4. They bonded over the challenges of parenting and slowly began piecing together a new life from the remnants of old ones. Despite their 10-year age gap, Milton and Angel became inseparable and eventually got married. After the wedding, Angel became a fixture at the Treasure Hunter. At home, they worked to blend their two families, Milton's 3 children and Angel's 4. To those who knew them, they seemed perfect together. But that picture-perfect piece fell apart in August 2018 when Milton was found murdered inside his own home.
Milton Sawyer was the owner of this antique shop and was known by a lot of people in this community. And as this piece pretty much sums up, he was Elizabeth City's most treasured hunter.
The crime scene appeared chaotic and violent, suggesting a robbery gone wrong. Furniture was overturned and drawers were yanked open, but something about the scene felt too deliberate. Police canvassed the neighborhood, but no one reported hearing anything. Still shaken, Angel recounted her version of events to detectives.
Well, you're going to be completely disappointed in me because I have a blunt issue in the box. But I guess it's better to know you.
He kept yelling to me, I know you got a lot of jewelry. I've seen you. I've seen all the jewelry you wear. I don't, where is it? He couldn't find it. I don't have a typical jewelry box. It's a lingerie cabinet, but it's full of jewelry, as you know, you've seen it. So when he dragged me out there, I basically said it's right there. And then that's when he hit me and I went down.
How did he hit you?
I felt this huge, I don't know what it was, but my whole ear just started ringing and I went down. Started screaming. All I saw was the gun. He had the gun right in my face. Get on the floor, effing bitch, blah, blah, blah. And he kept pointing the gun, saying, I said get on the floor. And Milton was like, honey, just get on the floor. And I said, I just want to put a shirt on. I was afraid if I was naked that maybe he would me, and I was scared, so I just wanted to put a shirt on.
Angel recounted he dragged her away while Milton was still conscious, but minutes later, she saw him lifeless. An autopsy later confirmed that Milton had been strangled to death. Though her story was tragic, investigators needed more than a narrative. Angel mentioned a man named Dylan, someone who had bought a TV from Milton just hours before the attack. Dylan had a criminal record, so police considered whether he might have followed Milton home.
Okay, so tell me about Milton then.
I don't know anything about Milton.
Man, you've done some robberies. Did you do this?
No.
The problem is with you that when you sit here, you always try to outsmart us, and you try to pretend like you're cooperating, and you're really not. So are you doing that now?
No, I'm not.
You're leaving the part out from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh.
Dude, I was at home all night last night.
How many times did we say that all you have to do is tell the truth? Yeah. The first time that you did the robbery, didn't we kind of go through the same thing?
Yeah.
Where you leave the part out where Dylan messes up, right? That's what you're doing right now.
No, I didn't. No.
Investigators pulled location data from both his and his girlfriend's phones, which confirmed they were not in the area of the Miltons' home at the time. With that, detectives ruled Dylan out. So if this wasn't a robbery, then who had strangled Milton in such a personal way? Detectives turned their focus to those closest to him, starting with Angel. Behind the glossy photos and neatly arranged antique store, their marriage had problems.
Our relationship, and I only say this so you understand, had gotten so great and was so good that I was joking with him because we would literally make love every morning and night, every day, for the last few months. And he'll always make the joke, are you sure? You must be getting tired of me. Like, no, I'm not. Our relationship was good. Everybody that knows us actually knows that we have a good relationship. We've had, like any marriage, things. I had a hard time our first year of dating, as you would ask. I found out later, after we were already engaged, that he had been with 2 other women. And it was, but we got through it. It was hard. He was always very jealous. It was hard for him because he's always said, you're so attractive, you could have anyone you want. And, I would always reassure him that I just wanted him. But we dealt with that a lot.
Angel admitted things had been tense, but Milton's family went further, describing her as self-absorbed and narcissistic women. 1 year prior, Angel had been in a car accident. Though she wasn't badly hurt, she required physical therapy and began regular sessions at a local medical center. Her treatment involved a technique called dry needling, similar to acupuncture. Her physical therapist was 38-year-old Isaac Melcher.
The only recent thing, though, was I had been in a car accident and had gone to physical therapy, and my appointment had been canceled, so I forwarded him the voice message. And for whatever reason, he realized that it's a guy that I'm going to physical therapy with, and obviously, if you've ever been to physical therapy, you're in a room full of people. It's not like, but it bothered him. Like, he looked him up on Facebook, sent me a screenshot of his picture, said he's attractive, and I said, no, he's not. I'm attracted to you. I love you. I don't care about this guy. But he was still having a hard time with it.
Angel saw Isaac 2 to 3 times a week, but when Milton realized that his wife's therapist was a man, he was far from pleased. He started noticing little things: Angel taking long showers, dressing up, and putting on makeup before her appointments. And every time he saw Isaac interacting with Angel, Milton became more visibly upset. Eventually, it got so bad that he confronted Isaac directly and even called his boss to accuse him. Angel didn't shy away from Milton's jealousy. In fact, it almost seemed like she enjoyed it. Whenever another man entered the frame, especially her handsome physical therapist Isaac, Milton's insecurities would flare. Over time, things escalated, and Angel eventually ended her therapy sessions.
He would get angry every time we went, so I finally just quit. I said I'd rather be in pain physically than to make you suffer. If it was that important to you that I not go to physical therapy, I won't go.
But Elizabeth City was a small town, and she and Isaac still crossed paths, places where coincidence could easily wear a mask. Investigators couldn't ignore the tension, so they decided to look deeper. Originally from Oregon, Isaac Melcher was a religious man and a father of 3. When detectives showed up at his door, Isaac greeted them calmly and didn't deny knowing Angel. He even admitted that her husband had become overly jealous and aggressive, but he flatly denied any romantic relationship with her. According to him, their connection ended when the therapy sessions did. When detectives asked for his phone, Isaac hesitated. He said it was destroyed by water just recently. Also, his wife couldn't confirm where Isaac had been on the night Milton Sawyer was murdered. Detectives suspected that the phone held more than just old messages, so they circled back to Angel, pressing harder about her relationship with Isaac.
Well, let's go back to Isaac for a minute. So, you never had a relationship with Isaac, but like, do you think that he might have thought there was something there? Like, did he seem inappropriate with you in any way? Like,
yes, but I told my husband, and every time he would try to, again, you can look at my phone. There were probably 2 or 3 different names he tried to use to friend request me.
Really?
But
is that what you mean? Because we talked the other day, you said he seemed obsessed. Isaac seemed obsessed. Is the word you?
Well, I just felt like he kept trying to reach out to me. He would come up with different names to friend request. One time, my husband was actually going to go over there to confront him.
On August 8th, just days after the murder, police learned Isaac had suddenly left town. He said he was visiting his mother in Oregon. On the surface, it made sense, but the timing was too sharp. In Oregon, Isaac reached out to an old friend, Louis Casimir. Louis wasn't just a friend. He had once been Isaac's youth pastor, a guiding light during Isaac's troubled teen years. They hadn't seen each other in over a decade, but now, years later, Isaac asked to see him again. When they met, Louis noticed something right away. Isaac looked distressed and nervous. He said he considered him his pastor and that the conversation they were about to have was a confession that would stay between them. Louis told him that he disagreed, but Isaac continued anyway. He said that he had made some foolish choices and would probably lose his family. He said he had fallen deeply in love with a woman he believed was trapped in a dangerous marriage. Isaac claimed she needed saving, and to rescue her, the threat had to be removed, and that threat was her husband, Milton Sawyer. Louis told him to go to the police and turn himself in, but Isaac refused. As days passed, Louis couldn't sleep. The weight of that conversation dug into his conscience like a splinter he couldn't remove. Finally, he picked up the phone and called Elizabeth City Police Department. The next day, detectives were on a plane to Oregon. When they arrived, they asked Louis to cooperate with them in order to make a recorded phone call. It was a heavy choice, but Louis knew silence could no longer protect the guilty, and what came next would finally begin to tear the web apart.
Hey Louis, how are you doing?
Have the police been back? Have they done any more investigating?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely comfortable speaking about that over the phone.
By the time Isaac called Louis again, this time preferred the encrypted app, Signal. But he had no idea his words weren't private.
The plan was for her to leave him, and something changed. She did not think that he would let her go, and that he would probably kill her if she tried to leave him. And I reached the place where I asked the devil to help me.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I had to so fully turn my back on God to do this.
Isaac admitted what they'd long suspected, but he didn't believe he stood a chance with the law because it was premeditated.
There is premeditation. And I will either get life in prison or I will get the death penalty. What I did was a horrible thing.
Throughout the call, Isaac dropped the final bombshell that changed everything. He claimed it was never just his idea. Angel had been lying to detectives from the very beginning.
The only reason that she has to not say anything is because there's a good chance that she would be implicated and arrested and go to jail also for conspiracy to commit murder. She is sticking to her story. She's denying everything.
Louis had taken a quiet role in helping detectives, and he was talking with Isaac's wife, who appeared disturbingly calm about the situation. She showed no emotional reaction when confronted with the reality of her husband's involvement in a brutal murder.
Hi, Louis.
Hi, Darlene. How are you doing?
I'm well. Isaac called me the day that it happened to tell me that it had happened.
Now, when you say when it had happened,
I'm talking about the murder. The affair I did not know about at all until the night he told me about it.
To form a solid case, detectives needed one of them to turn. Soon, Isaac revealed the whole plan.
So why should we believe you, who's told us at least 2 or 3 sets of lies, and not Isaac, who the only time he's ever spoken about this has just regurgitated everything that happened?
I wouldn't blame you for not believing me.
Be truthful about the relationship. There's more. Y'all did more than talk. It was sexual, correct?
There were 2 times.
There were 2 times. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Where did that happen?
At the clinic and behind COA. And it was actually 3 times. There was a parking spot on the highway on 17.
When he sent you messages about murdering your husband and asking you to assist him in that, why didn't you call the police?
So I didn't think it would really happen.
Soon after, the truth caught up with them both. Isaac Melcher and Angel Sawyer were arrested and charged with murder.
A memorial now sits in downtown Elizabeth City, near the store that neighbors say Milton Henry Sawyer Jr. once owned.
It floored me. I had absolutely no idea that, things like that happen in a small town. I mean, of course, I guess they happen everywhere.
Investigators say Sawyer died after the incident. Tonight, we've learned his wife, Angel Sawyer, and another man, 38-year-old Isaac Melcher, have been charged with his murder.
It all started during those early therapy sessions. Angel would whisper stories about her obsessive husband and made a sexual comment for Isaac. She then sent nude photos crossing every line.
She would talk about very personal things, such as I lay next to him, naked all night long, and he doesn't even look at me. She brought up again, I'm out in the hot tub naked, and that turned into her sending me a picture.
At one point during their session, Isaac asked her to change her clothes into a therapy robe, but Angel waited him naked, and he completely fell for her temptation.
And I came back in, and she was pretty much almost naked. My ability to step away at that point was gone. We started into a relationship.
You were kind of hooked at that point?
Yeah. And then it was a matter of finding time and places to do it.
What began as a small flirtations turned into something more consuming. Over time, their secret affair grew more intense, but soon, Angel began to manipulate Isaac, telling him that the only way they could truly be together was if her husband was gone.
One day, she contacted me and said, I can't leave because if I do, he'll kill me. She claimed that he would track her down and either bring her back or kill us both. The only way that I will ever be able to leave is if he dies of natural causes.
Their first plan was to poison Milton, slipping pills into his beer. But when that didn't happen, they shifted to a home invasion. On the night of the murder, Isaac crept through the woods behind the Sawyers' home. He used a key Angel said would be waiting under the mat. After he slipped inside, Isaac strangled Milton to death.
Slit my arm around his neck and attempted to put him into a rear naked chokehold. He didn't have a pulse.
Angel was there the entire time, and her head injuries were also just for show.
She wanted me to hit her to make it look like more realistic, I guess. So the first time was not enough. And she knelt down and basically smacked her forehead against the corner of the one of the drawers that we had pulled out.
Regarding his confession, Isaac Melcher was offered a plea deal. He was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 25 years in prison. On the other side, Angel Sawyer was found guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Even behind bars, Isaac was still obsessed. He would find ways to speak through a third-party caller, but that wasn't the same on Angel's side.
I'm very sorry for everything that's happened. Angel, are you there? What the?
The caller has hung up.
Behind the mask of love, secret affairs can grow in silence, and when lies replace loyalty, marriage can definitely become a dangerous trap. If you're still with us, thank you for watching. Show some love by smashing that like button, and we'll see you in the next one.